Europe, get ready to laugh your Lederhosen off. Hey there, travel enthusiasts. Ready to laugh your way through Europe? From wonky architecture to languages that'll twist your tongue, this continent's a comedy goldmine. Let's dive into the top 5 places that'll have you saying, Europe, you crack me up. Pack your bags, your funny bone, and your appetite for adventure. Let's go. Amsterdam, where the bikes outnumber the people and the museums are straight out of Willy Wonka. First up, Amsterdam. Picture this. Canals straight out of a postcard, colorful houses stacked like a game of Tetris, and more bikes than people. It's like a real life Where's Waldo. But instead of Waldo, you're spotting wacky museums.
You got your classic Van Gogh museum, but then bam, you stumble upon the Museum of Bags and Purses. I mean, who knew handbags deserved their own museum? Don't even get me started on the cheese museums.
And speaking of museums, you gotta check out the Anne Frank house. It's a powerful and moving experience.
Oh, and did I mention the bikes? They're everywhere. Just try not to get run over by a granny on a bicycle. It happens to the best of us.
Barcelona, Gaudí's Wonderland. It's like a Dr. Seuss book exploded. Next stop, Barcelona, Spain. This city is a feast for the eyes. Thanks to the architectural genius of Antoni Gaudí, his buildings look like they're melting, dripping, and swirling all at the same time.
First up, the Sagrada Família. This basilica is Gaudí's masterpiece, and it's been under construction for over a century.
Then there's Park Güell. It's like Gaudí took a bunch of crayons and went wild on a hillside. You've got mosaic benches, gingerbread houses, and a lizard fountain that looks like it's about to come to life.
Oh, and don't even get me started on trying to speak Catalan. It's like Spanish's quirky cousin who speaks in tongues. I once tried to order a coffee and ended up with a plate of snails. Trust me, stick to hola and you'll be just fine.
Barcelona is a visual and cultural delight with surprises around every corner.
Alrighty, let's jet over to Rome, Italy. This city's a living museum with ancient ruins around every corner. You got your Colosseum, your Roman Forum, your Pantheon. It's like stepping back in time 2,000 years.
Speaking of scooters, the traffic in Rome is legendary. My advice, embrace the chaos. Hop in a tiny car, honk your horn like a maniac, and pretend you're in a Fast and Furious movie.
But hey, it's not all ancient history and traffic jams. Rome's also got gelato, and pizza, and pasta. Pack your stretchiest pants because you're gonna need them.
Bonjour from Paris, the city of love. This city is practically made for romance, with its charming cafes, cobblestone streets, and the Eiffel Tower twinkling in the distance.
First up, the Eiffel Tower. It's iconic, it's impressive, and it's also a giant magnet for cheesy tourist photos. I mean, you haven't truly experienced Paris until you've seen someone trying to hold the Eiffel Tower in their hand.
Then there's the Louvre. This museum's home to some of the world's most famous works of art, like the Mona Lisa. But let's be real. The real entertainment is watching people try to take a selfie with her without getting trampled by the crowds.
Oh, and don't even get me started on my attempts to speak French. It's like my tongue turns to mush, and I end up sounding like a pigeon trying to order a croissant. But hey, at least the French appreciate a good laugh, even if it's at my expense.
Last but not least, let's hop over to Prague, Czech Republic. This city's a fairy tale come to life with its stunning architecture, charming bridges, and a clock that puts on a show every hour.
First up, the Old Town Square. It's home to the famous astronomical clock, which dates back to the 15th century. Every hour on the hour, the clock puts on a little show.
And speaking of quirky, you gotta check out Prague's statues. They're not your average statues, folks. We're talking giant babies crawling up a tower, a man hanging by one hand, and a statue of Franz Kafka riding a headless giant suit. Only in Prague.
Oh, and did I mention the beer? Prague's known for its delicious and cheap beer, so be sure to grab a pint or 3 while you're here. Just don't blame me if you wake up the next morning with a slight case of the Prague hangover. So there you have it, folks. 5 hilarious and beautiful places in Europe that you just can't miss. From wacky museums in Amsterdam to Gaudí's masterpieces in Barcelona, from ancient ruins in Rome to charming cafes in Paris, and from quirky statues in Prague to, well, more quirky statues in Prague. Europe's got something for everyone. Pack your bags, bring your sense of humor, and maybe a phrase book or two, and get ready for an unforgettable adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more fun travel guides. See you on the next adventure. Bon voyage.